What is up, y'all? We just lost to the Nets. Not surprising, but I had a little bit of hope, faith, but KD and Harden just torched us. What can you do? I mean, they have KD. He's cheat code, man. Cheat code. Harden, cheat code. Both of them played well. Harden didn't even play all that well up till like the third and fourth. That's when he really started cooking us. Fourth quarter especially. That's when he just lit us up. He wasn't even shooting the three ball till like the fourth quarter. Then he really just killed our momentum. KD was just shooting on all cylinders the whole game. Couldn't stop the man. But, we gave them a fight. Third quarter, I don't even want to talk about because that was just atrocious. I don't know what we were doing in the third quarter. We weren't doing anything in the third quarter. That's the issue. Defense was just abysmal. Just trash. We scored like 17 points and they dropped 31 or something like that. Can't let that happen. But first quarter, I like the first quarter. First quarter was I feel like our best run. I feel like in terms of just overall, just in general, we played well in the first quarter, I believe. We had a lot of open looks. That's the issue. We had open looks, but we didn't drain them. We didn't get those open looks in. And we got those open looks because of good ball movement. We had really good ball movement, I feel like, in the first quarter. That led to open looks. And, they're open looks. So they're not going to be 100%, but we should have gotten them in, right? A higher chance. And they're NBA players, right? Those should go in. But it's not guaranteed, right? But it was nice to see just in general that, those open looks did, happen because of our good ball movement. And I feel like it was also part to Siakam on the floor, right? Siakam gelled in well, made some space, opened the floor up really well, which I'll expand on later on. But first quarter, we played well. It's just subsequently we shat the bed. Sad. Now the first takeaway, Siakam played decently, right? As I was just saying. Siakam played very decently for a guy who just came from injury. Hasn't even played in Toronto, a home game, since, February of 2020. It's a long time. That's a long time. Played for the first time after his surgery. His first surgery ever, might I add. And first time coming back from injury. And he dropped a great game. Decent game, right? Not up to his standards because, his standards are even higher than today's game. And he played decently, right? What more can you ask for? The guy played 60% of what he is normally, better than 40% of what he could have dropped 10 points. No, he didn't drop 10 points, right? He could have had, defensively he could have been a liability because he's just out of the didn't get enough reps in. But no, defensively he was solid, gelled well with the team, got some points, so you can't really ask too much about Siakam. He played well for his condition, for his, it was the best thing to see. I didn't expect him to drop 25 or anything. No one should have expected him to drop 25 in his first game against the Nets, right? But yeah, it was great to see. I know there's going to be some people. There's for sure going to be some people who will tunnel vision on his 2 layups or 3 layups that he just missed. It was close and it just didn't roll in. And but honestly, if you just look overall, he played a great game. Sorry, I keep saying great, but he played a very decent game. You honestly, you can't ask more from him. Now, Precious was better off the bench? ? Is it a coincidence that he plays better when he, the first game he's not starting and he's on the bench, and he plays as well as, how he's supposed to play, because the last couple of games he was not playing like this. He was not. He had a lot of rough touches. Tonight he had very soft touches. Like, he could finish at the rim. I'm sorry, he finished at the rim. He was able to. Before, he would just like toss it up, hit the rim. They'd either rebound it, or if it was lucky, if it was a good thing, someone would get that board and just put it in. Scottie usually, but today he actually just got the ball and shot it, went in, right? Field goal percentage wasn't too bad at all. He was 6 for 11, very efficient, 54%. Defensively, he was locked in. You can't really do. I didn't expect him to do well against KD, because the guy's like 2 years into the league, and you're trying to defend KD. No, that's not that. That ain't happening. So on that end, okay, yeah, he got torched by KD, but overall, I think he defended Blake Griffin well. Overall he just played well, compared to his other games. The other games were, I don't want to even talk about his other games. He still kept up his boards, but he was just overall better. That's good to see. I want to see him keep playing like this. Now, I don't know if he'll be on the bench, or will he start, because you never know, because with Nick Nurse and his coaching staff, we can definitely see like Gary starting from the bench and Precious starting, right? And he's going to tinker around with it, right? And I'm all for tinkering around with our lineup, because that's the whole positionless basketball kind of spiel, right? What's the point of getting Precious, right? So I'm excited. I'm excited for Precious. I'm glad to see him play well. It's a sigh of relief, and hopefully he keeps this up. Now, the floor opened up a lot due to Siakam. I loved it. It's just his presence opened up space for our shooters, especially in the first quarter. And Gary wasn't shooting all that well from the 3-point line tonight, and if he was, I'm sure the offensive coach or Nick Nurse and such, they would have made up plays more for Gary. I could definitely see like Siakam driving into the paint, dishing it out to Gary. Gary takes the three, boom, if he's on fire. But he was not on fire tonight, from the 3-point line. He had some clutch shots though, his mid-range, and defensively he wasn't as dialed in. I'm sure he was dialed in terms of like mentally, but he didn't get too many. I feel like I don't think he got too many steals or deflections or anything like that. But still, I applaud him. He was one of our better players tonight, Gary Trent. And we're against the Nets. What can you say, right? There's so many all-star, former/current all-stars, right? It's crazy. I remember it was like 44 appearances from the whole team. It's crazy. But it was good to see Siakam, just his presence, and it's exciting to see what can come for the future, right? And he needs those reps. Siakam needs those reps to really gel in. To practice can only do so much, right? He needs reps in actual games to see how his teammates, play, where Gary likes to go, where Scottie likes to go, because I can definitely see Scottie streaking in, or even Svi. I can definitely see Svi in Utah cutting in when Siakam's in the paint, posted up, and he has no option, dishes it out to Svi, and Svi is a good finisher, right? Svi lays it up easy. So it's exciting to see for the future games. Now, number 4, Boucher is trying too hard. This is a tough one. It's tough because I'm a fan of Boucher. I have his jersey. I like the guy, but I'm a truthful man. And he is not playing good. And there's many reasons for his form right now, why he's not playing that well. And I think one of the biggest reasons is because he is trying to get paid, right? He's trying to get the bag. He wants other teams to see that he deserves it. He deserves more than his current contract, right? And how do you show that? You show them, you play well. And yeah, he's not playing well because he's trying too hard to impress. Like, he's choosing stupid decisions. And I don't know. I sound very mean, but it's the truth. Like, I like the guy. I want him to get paid. Because we all know that Boucher is going to be traded in the upcoming season. But very soon. It could be this season. It could be next season. It's probably going to be within the next 2 seasons, though, for sure. But he will be dealt away, and he wants to raise his stock, right? But the funny thing is, the more he tries, the more his stock just goes down. So honestly, we could keep him, because if his stats keep plummeting and he's just doing bad decisions and he's just playing bad, then his stock is gonna, no one's gonna want him, right? And if no one wants him, he's not gonna get paid, and we can just offer him the same thing, or a little bit of a raise, but Boucher's old, right? He's like 29 or something. So I don't know what we're gonna do with him. I just hope he goes back to his style of playing like last season. Just do your role, right? Give me some blocks. Get better with some about your defensive rotations, because he does slip up and he does go for those highlight blocks, right? And I love them. I love those highlight blocks, but he bites on so many of the pump fakes, right? And which causes fouls, which causes just an open layup and open just shot, right? And his three is not falling. I want him to get better. Like, stop driving it in. Just facilitate and pass. Facilitate and shoot, but in a smart way. He's not doing it in a smart way. He's just not. And it's tough to see. And he only had 8 minutes tonight. He had 8 minutes and 30 seconds. He's 100% from field goal, 2 for 2, but I don't know. He seems like he's a liability defensively, and he gets his hand on some of these shots. He's a shot contester, but it's just his rotation. Sometimes he just does not click with the team. Sometimes I don't know what's happening. Well, today there was a lot of that. Not just because of Boucher. In general, I remember Achiuwa bumped this V because they didn't rotate properly. So that was an open layup or shot or something, but it was just very bad communication. But hopefully Boucher plays better. But I can definitely see his minutes getting cut if he keeps acting like this and Utah comes back and Nick Nurse tries to do some other lineup changes just to see who plays well with each other. You never know, but you can only hope. Now, the 3 usuals. Best performance: Fred VanVleet. Just overall good game. In general, he was just good. Fred played well defensively, offensively. He didn't make many mistakes. He didn't even get a foul. He had 0 personal fouls. Great. Passed it well. Got his points. Got to his shot. Didn't shoot as many mid-range shots, but it's tough when KD's on your face, Harden's on your face. Yes, I like Harden on Fred. I'm sure a lot of people would disagree though, but I feel like he was more trying to facilitate more, especially with Siakam back. And of course, Fred is going to get less touches when Siakam's back, right? Because Siakam needs the ball in his hands too. And so, we needed Fred, and he delivered, but we needed more from our other guys. What can you do? I mean, Scottie played well too, right? He didn't have the most amazing game, but come on, he ripped the ball out of KD's hands. He literally, at one point, he literally went, grabbed the ball, said, "Give me that," and passed it away, right? I love that. And worst performance, Svi Mykhailiuk. Svi's just in a slump, right? Just similar to Precious, but hopefully not as long as Precious, because Precious had a long game streak of poor games. But Svi is his second bad game, third, kind of, I don't know. But I'm not too worried about Svi. It was just bad decisions in general today. I feel like the whole team was making bad decisions the whole game. Not the whole game, but most of the game, third quarter especially. Jesus, Svi was just making dumb decisions, and he just didn't drain the threes as well. But just he wasn't shooting well. But mostly it was just defensively he was not in his usual self, and he wasn't. I feel like he didn't cut as well tonight. But it's just a slump, right? I think he'll be back. He'll play better next game. Now, the six-man performance, surprisingly, it's Precious Achiuwa. He's not worst performance today like the other days. He's finally six-man performance. And guess what? He could only be eligible for six-man performance if he started from the bench. Guess what? He started from the bench. He wasn't a starter. Is it a coincidence? I don't know. Is it a coincidence that Kem isn't playing and that's why he played better? Probably not, right? I think just Precious played well today. He just had a good game. He had a good game coming off the bench. I don't know if it was for that reason, but it's good on his resume in terms of if he wants to start or not, because I'm sure Nick and the other coaching staff will play around with the lineups, right? I can definitely see Precious starting over Gary just to see how it, just to tinker around, just to see a lineup of the big boys, the long boys, just to tinker around. I can definitely see Nick trying that to see how it works. He doesn't want to rule out anything, right? So even with Kem out, we can see hopefully the return of Precious in terms of his hype, right? Because right now his hype was going down. He had some rough touches tonight. He finished those, before he wouldn't be able to finish them. Tonight he finished them. And that's all I can ask for, to be honest, from Precious. He had to guard against KD sometimes. Literally second year, and you're guarding KD, one of the most, easy sniper money. Bro, I feel bad for anyone trying to defend KD. And so, can't on that end, you can't really do much. But defensively, he was decent too. He was a lot better than the previous games, and I'm happy to see that. Hopefully this slump is over for him. This will continue, and he'll play better, just like tonight. Even better, maybe. His rebounds were still up there. He got his points though. Defensively, played well, decent. Against a Nets team, right? Against Blake Griffin, who was hot from the 3-point line, by the way. But honestly, those threes that he took, it was because they're they're open looks. Most of his threes, I really believe, were just terrible defending from our point and miscommunication on our point. And it was just, he got those open looks in, and we didn't from the first quarter, right? That's just how it is sometimes. But it's good to see Precious playing well. So I'm excited for the next game. And I'm excited for Siakam to get some reps in and get back to the 20-plus point guy he is, because he's that guy. And I'm happy, but sad because Nets. Fuck Brooklyn.